Okay, so I wanted to bless and bring this up. So basically, what is really cool about this change that's coming, and also before I move on, I wanted to welcome you to my channel. My name is Samuel Durbridge. Also, I have another channel called Samuel Loomis, Newly Awakened. And I also have other playlists with tuning frequencies and other things to help for healing and all stuff. So this video right now is the other part of the other video I just did, which is about what I ended with, which is talking to you about the age shift. Now, many have been told the age shift should have happened back last year, December 21st, 2020. I thought the same. Others thought the year before that. Others thought back in 2012 it should have. And so here's the thing. It's always constantly shifting, and there's always things always happening. And there's been controls to try to hold off the true shift. Well, now it's gone long enough that everything is just ready. And it knew that it needed to be ready soon. And because they moved up their timetable to cause things that shouldn't have been caused and delaying things that shouldn't be delayed, it's really irritating a lot of people, and a lot of irritation is happening. So a lot of energy of peace because of suffering that's occurring. The peace energy has to intervene more to keep the peace, and has to do more than what it's supposed to be doing, and which is making it stronger and more powerful over the dark that's trying to overpower everything and trying to delay everything because it wants the light to intervene. And so it's trying to just have fun with what it thinks is fun to delay and to cause more suffering and more irritation purposely. So this is what I'm going to tell you right now. So what is going on is the darkness is being revealed, pretending to be light, to pretending to be innocence, when they are also part of the problem causing the harm, pretending that they're victims, feeling victimized, and then delaying relief for others who are the true victims. And then what is going on is the energies are smart enough to recognize this because they can do anything and connect with everything, so it knows the truth. And so now it's coming through like it already knew it would. And Christ consciousness connection. And we're talking about an unconditional Christ. Everybody needs to be freed. Everybody's okay. Everybody's free to be their highest form of self. No one has to be part of this religion or that religion to be provided it. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with the heart. It has to do with energy, vibration. What is your vibration? What is your heart? Not about religion. Not about ritualistic stuff. It's about the heart energy way of creation and destruction to heal the destruction that occurred that shouldn't have needed to be there, to allow more growth, more creation. And so what is going on is we can heal things and make them grow and keep on growing rather than destroying and dying all the time. And so what is cool is there's been alterations to seasons and to all sorts of stuff being messed with. And so what is happening is we are going from, instead of cursing, we're healing. We're mending. Becoming balanced and mending everything. And so what is about to occur is everything's going to be freed. It's already being freed. Even if you don't see it, it's coming free more and more because people are outing it and standing up for it. Standing up for the right thing. Even if others don't know what the right thing is because they've been brainwashed and controlled by their jobs and procedures. Well, everything is changing. And that's what the Aquarious Aids is. That's the prophesied teaching of it. So I'm going to bring up something that's really cool. So Christ coming back with Thor and with other mythology beings saying they would come back. They would come here and they would correct, and then they would live here or be here for a time until they go to their next higher realm. Because they need to make sure this realm people ascends properly or learns their power abilities, and then they take over the realm that they created. So we're all time travelers, okay? So we are the old gods that it speaks of. We're going to go back in time through space-time, and we're going to rule those past forms of self, and we're going to become those gods to get us to where we are now. And that's why there's been so much messed up stuff, is because we are the ones that made it this way. But now we're trying to make it more peacefully, the way that it was supposed to. And all realms and all past, future realm will finally be healed and corrected. And that's what's happening now, is the energies were messed up. And so that's what's going to occur. So they're clearing out that energy so that all timeline forms of self can be at peace and be its own optimum frequency that it wants for its realm. So different frequency realms will have their balanced frequency, optimal connected frequencies they match with or desired to, that they become. So everything is going to now be balanced with their frequencies of awakening and go back to its normal setup that it was meant to be, the abundance for all. So what is going on is we are to correct what has happened to become what has been to what is now. See, some people are learning the things way too much in the past, that they're learning things that they think is new stuff, but they don't realize that that was old stuff. That was old information that they didn't catch on to until now. And so some are still living in the past information because they just woke up to the information. So they're still following that information that fits with them to what was past, because they're at that frequency level. So for them, that's their level. They need to rise up faster, but it's hard for them because they got to start at that level and move up to their gradual acceptance. So what would really be helpful for people is if they were just fully healed so that they can catch up to what is now good to know, but still remember why it's good to know by knowing the other. And so it's kind of, that's why there's progression and change, and that's what the Aquarius 1000 Years of Peace is for. It's going to take that long for all our lifetime connections to catch up to the next level. The next levels that each level of us are ready for, to become what this other level already went through to become what we are, and will be more. But we'll also level up faster, okay? Because when everything's at peace, everything finally knows what their purpose is for their lifetime. And it's just whatever you're ready for. So you'll probably go up like several levels once you have all the knowledge, faster than what you're going and dealing with right now without all the knowledge. So we're going from ignorance to knowledge, and then we're going from lack to abundance. And so now we have full abundance, full prosperity for all, full freedom. We're not going to be neglected. Everybody's going to have enough food. And it's not going to be chemical food. It's going to be purified food and healed food. And that's what's going to happen. Free energy. And it's already out there. There's already free energy tech that I have and others have that is for air purifying, biofuels, things like that. What is really cool is there's new stuff out there. There's new stuff out there that's even better and is even stronger. And there is a new age that's happening. And we're going into that new age. So that new age is us switching and shifting into that age. Christ talked about it. Other beings talked about it. Basically, we're going to get the technology that Asgard, the shows and things are said to have that's similar to magic, but is science. And so we're going to have that technology known now. We already have some of it, but we're going to finally know and have more of it. And then we're going to have all these other connections and energy connectors and what our energy connector form is. So we're going to have all these connected realizations that we already are. So everybody's going to be everything. Everybody's going to be connected to whatever is. So the All-Father, Odin, there is beyond him, which is another world or another realm. And so there is a beyond the realm of that realm. And so there's a beyond. And then there's other beyonds beyond those realms of beings. So there are many 5-density beings that are 4-density beings, most of them. And then 5-density is beyond that, which is all of our soul groups remembering what we were. And then after 5D, we have 60, which is archangel status, and then 70. Now, you have all the connections of all of that. So anyway, so I'm going to go into what I was going to bring up the most. So the Renaissance Aids started at the time of a shift of alignment. Then alignment of the moon and certain planets are aligning, and I don't know exactly all of them that are, into the Aquarius alignment. There are others that are already aligned in the Aquarius alignment, but there are 7 others that are going to align with it. So there is a 9 alignment, similar to 9 planets, but it's not going to be all the 9 planets that we're told will be part of that alignment. It's going to be more different. We're going to have 9 planetary type rocks, moons, and some planets. And the sun itself is one of those 7. So there's 6 others that are aligning into match with Saturn and Jupiter alignment. So that's pretty impressive. So it's star and planet. And that alignment happened when the Dark Ages ended. And then the Renaissance began. So Dark Ages had a lot of witchcraft and a lot of control and metaphysical. And that's when they said it separated the mystical creatures, spirit creatures, from humankind. And our animals that aren't as magical. But we still are. We can still be magical. But it was from those forms to that. So it was the 4D from the 3D forms. But some 4D still stuck around somehow to control things. But what happened is the 3D world was separated from it, and it freed them from the bad energies, as a lot of them were, because there was a lot of evil energies that was making them hate each other and destroy each other. So they got separated into the 2 worlds. A metaphysical world that we can't see, or a veil to cover and protect those mystical beings, where they're protecting themselves. And sometimes they can come into our realm and sometimes they can't, depending on the energies that are there. But they have technology to come here if they wanted to. But some of them prefer to be away because it made them darker. There's a lot of lore in Avatar, and I'm not talking about Avatar the movie. I'm talking about Avatar the cartoon with Aang. The Last Airbender is the movie form of him, but the cartoon version brings it up. But I'm talking about Korra, the next carnation, her that carnation, which is a girl carnation of the Avatar, and there was always girls and guys back and forth within their past as well. But this is the time when the convergence that happened in 2,000 whatever years, Well, they always prepare us for this in cartoons 2 to 4 years prior. They let us know what's happening 4 years in the future in shows. They're letting us know what's coming. So we're in that time of the Korra cartoon, which is Korra in the second season, where she, I think it's the second season. I think there was only 2 seasons. There might have been 3 or 4, but whatever the last season was of her, the last season and the end of the season before that, talking about the convergence, and then her going into the spirit realm, and that there's a portal opening the spirit into our realm and their realm. So it's still kind of a separate realm, but now they're one connected. So now people get special powers, special abilities. Well, that's what many of us thought would occur on the 21st of December last year, but really of 2020. But really, it's happening during the Aquarious Aids, true Aids, which would be in the Aquarius month time frames. And the Aquarius month would be January and, end of January and before the end of February. So the 21st, or I think the 20th of, the peak is the 21st of January, but 20th of January to the 19th of February. So that's the connection. The Aquarius Aids change. 21st would be the peak because that's the day that water and air beings were created according to the creation of the Bible, connections and lore. So the 21st of January, and it goes till February. Then there is a peak of the change, which would be the 29th, 8-day change of Christ's return, where he would return right after all of that occurred. So that would be basically the 6th or 5th of February, which today that I did this video was February 3rd, so we got 2 days left. So 5th would be Friday, because today's Wednesday, and it's 2021 now. So February, but in some calendars, it's 2013, which is the abundant year of the shift, or the lack year if you're in the dark timeline. But at the same time, it's a convergence, so none of that is happening anymore. It's being corrected from the higher realms. It's healing all the realms. So everything's balanced, because that's what all want. So that's what's going to happen for all timelines. It's going to be the most optimal timeline, most peaceful for all the beings that resonate with it. Those that don't will go to the timeline they resonate with, that matches with them, that gives them the peace they want and connect with. Or if they can have the peace they want within that realm, they'll get it. And so it's going to be amazing. So what is happening, if not, you'll be shifted in the one that does fit with you. And you're always constantly shifting regardless, no matter what happens, to fit with you all the time now. That's the great thing about the universal multiverse connection. It's always about that. So what is happening now is we have the next change. And the next change is basically we are becoming the new form of self that fits with us. And we're gradually becoming it. We might just shift and become it and see it, and we saw it in dreams and witnesses, but we didn't fully comprehend it, and it sounded a little scary, or seemed a little scary in those dreams. Didn't fit with us. But then there were dreams that did. It's because we don't realize what we were, who we were. Some of it was us seeing through other people's eyes in personal time right now. While we were asleep, we're in someone else, seeing through them, because we have DNA connection with other forms of self. And those of us that do that is because we are divine beings that came back, and we're connecting with older selves, just like Christ will do when Christ is around us, because Christ is all of us. And so it will be like that. It's just an automatic thing that happens. So we are higher form connectors to other past forms of connectors, or they are of us, and so we connect somehow. And sometimes we take over their form or their body because they are us and we are them. And since we're above them, or we're a higher form of them, a future form of themselves, sometimes we just automatically are able to, and we got to learn why that's going on, because it's more of our higher self making us connect with lower selves of us to help it. And sometimes it's not to help it, it's to get us to recognize that we are connected, and there's this confusion that happens that throws off others, and sometimes we're there to scare off other beings that are there to protect with our energy, to protect them that try to come after them. And it's like a proxy thing, or it's a passive thing. It just happens, and we can't always control it, but it occurs because it needs to, for whatever purpose. So it gets really trippy, because you're just like, what in the... And you think you're in your future self or another timeline, and it really isn't always that. It's you're in another body. You've astral projected into another form, or you remote viewed through another form of DNA connection through the field to them. And B negative bloods will do that with O bloods, I've noticed. And I didn't notice it but I caught on really quick once I started noticing. But we also do it with other Bs and other connected forms that we're meant to connect with. And I don't know if it goes towards As, but it might, because Bs have Os in us, and if we have O in us, we might be connecting to all of the bloodlines. And so if we have O blood in us, which I've had 3 pints of blood given to me, so and I can only have O negative or B negative, so I might have had O negative given to me and not know it, and now I'm connected to O negative and B negatives. How do I know? I don't, but I feel like it's possible. So there's a connection there. So even if it was just B negative always still has O in it. It can still give O off when it connects with certain blood type connection. So there you go. Now, I wanted to go into the fact that the Renaissance age coming into fruition, that is awesome, because that means we are going to shift into a stage that is beyond what we've been told is possible. So what is going to happen is we are going to shift in this change whenever it's going to happen. It may not happen by the February 19th, but it could. I feel like something huge will happen that will be a shift like. And I don't know, because it happened it's connected to all the lore, all the connections, and it just matches everything now. And I'm just like, okay. Now, with the most for this year, if it doesn't happen by then, it could happen by 12/12/2021. But I think that's the shift of the expansion. So I think we had to shift before then to handle the expansion change. So we might add ships or galactic beings that come and get us for rapture like before that, or something that helps us handle that. Or if we die, then we die, and then some will come back later or go to the heaven realm or a new path and into the forms that still stick around. But it feels like it's happening earlier because it was said that it would. It was supposed to happen by 2024, but because of all the darkness and all the controls, it has to happen earlier because of the babies, That's the constant theme. But it's not just because of the babies, it's because of all forms being neglected. The earth itself and everybody, and the lack of all forms, not just babies and children, but the innocent. So what it is, and that's what God would consider babies, because someone is always going to be your baby no matter how old they are to you. They're always your baby, right? So that's what babies, because of the babies, because of God's children, God's babies, God's love, God's innocent, the protecting ones, the ones that care and want peace for all, the love, that don't know any better and are trying and think they know and are just trying to do what others want them to do to look good for those individuals that they feel are good, that they don't know better, and trust them without question. And so brainwashing is a real thing as well. So we're going to be freed from all of that control, and we're going to be told, and that's the promise. So the bridegroom is coming back. Get your oil lamps ready, purified oil, all of that. Build up your light within. Build up your energy, your vibes. Eat high vibe food. Drink high vibe drinks. All of that non-chemical stuff. Purified God energy. Brings up in a lot of shows, brings up a lot of lore, brings up in a lot of information. And so what is going to happen is all the prophecies are all combining, and the 7 alignment that's happening is going into Aquarius by 2021 of February 2000 on the 19th of February of this year is when the Aquarious Aids ends. So it's between now and then. Some say it's going to be this Friday, Saturday. And then there is a connection to the days, Friday, Saturday. So Friday would be a day of frying. So it's the fry pan. So it's the charging of the energies. And Saturday is the rest day. So the charging of the energies is Friday, which is the day that we were Freedom Day, which is also the day that we were created of the 6th day when animals and land people were created. But the aquatic people and the aquatic beings were created a day or two before that. And so that's what's interesting. I think it's the day before that. And so it's pretty impressive that you got that going on. And now we're going into the change. So that's what I'm excited for, is the change is the aquatic. And so the aquatic, that's funny. Some of you could probably scan that barcode I just did. See what it is. But yeah, so what can happen is it's just a Nugo bar, but which is vegan stuff. So anyway, I've noticed some interesting things that's helped me with it that I got drawn to it for, and it's a mint flavor one. Anyway, so there you go. There's some little fun little, I guess you call it Easter egg. You can look into for those that can scan barcodes on a video. So anyway, what is interesting about life is we are connected to self-connection. And everybody matters in the heart. Everybody matters because everybody is a matter. We are matter. And no pun intended, but pun is there. And so we're all connected, okay? So what it is there's a field. And so what is about to happen right now is that energy is coming from within us, changing us, and this shift or return from Christ will come, and those ready will shift with Christ into the next realm of being. So it could be the shift is the 6th of February or the 5th. It could be this Friday. And that means it will be Saturday for other places in the world, because I'm in Utah. And so there you go. So now we got that. And then another thing that's going to happen is we're going to go into a shifting that's going to turn us into whatever we're going to turn into. Maybe we won't turn into anything. We'll just go to heaven for those ready who have pure hearts and are welcomed in. Our judgments of others is not the way that it works. It's the heart that is judged. So if your heart is pure, or has been as pure as it could be from all the stuff that others had chosen not to do, that you knew was better to follow and were inclined to follow, then you will be fine. Because you followed your heart to do what you know is right, to inform people like I've chosen to do, regardless what religion or faith you are. Is your heart, and if you saw and connected and do what you feel was right by it, because you were connected by that being that came to you, because you made your heart come like a little child and you were able to see Christ's connection like I was, that I know I'll be fine because of what I've seen and witnessed. And I let it be known because I was told to. And so I know I'll be okay because I was able to heal cancer. I was able to do that because I was told how by a higher form self. I call it the Christ consciousness, unconditional Christ consciousness self that loves all, forgives all, heals all. Doesn't matter. And they even feel bad about themselves of their lifetime, of anything they may have done that others hide that they've done in their histories. Christ doesn't see themselves as a perfect being. Now they are in their way, but they still see that perfection has nothing to do about whether you're completely nice or doing amazing things. It's about doing what isn't always easy to do and is honest to do, rather than fake or facade or a procedural thing. And so heal all, bless all, and teach others how to as well. Teach a man to fish, he can fish, he'll have food for a day. Teach him to do it for a lifetime. Give him a fish or give him food, he eats for a day. Teach him how to do it, does it for a lifetime. Now they've altered this in society because kings got a lot of money from fisheries, so it wasn't really fishery, it was more planting connection. But I think it's because of the laws, he may have had to do fish at the time, even though flaxseed and other stuff are what we should be going towards. So there is a connection of different polarity lifetimes where plant-based and higher vibe food is the best to raise your vibes, non-chemical and stuff now. So bless yourself, forgive yourself, and forgive all. It matters about the heart, not what others are choosing necessarily to do. It's about them changing from what they realize they're doing wrong. All. So we need to realize the chemicals, the tricks, all of the games, and change. Because there's some stuff going on that many of you don't know is going on. And if you did, you'd be barfing up your food right now. And be irritated about what you put in your body, what you got shot up with by shots and vaccines. You'd be like, why did I do that? So bless you, forgive yourself, forgive others, and bless all. So there you go. So the shift of the Dark Ages into Renaissance Aids is the age of this age into the Aquarious Aids, the Abundance Aids. That's what's coming. So good luck. Bless all.